Okay guys, so finishing up our work with circles and circle parts, here we've got some varying sectors. Okay, so we've got a semicircle, we've got a quarter circle, and then we've got a sector with a 45-degree angle. Now, we are looking at the area, and so we need to be using pi times the radius squared. Okay, now if you were fine with working out the perimeter of sectors in the previous lesson, then this is actually much easier because there's no need to remember to add on the radius or anything like that, because the area is simply the space inside. Okay, so it is simply just a fraction of the area of the whole circle. So I'm going to start off by writing my diameter and my radius. Okay, I've got half of a circle, so my area is going to be half of pi times the radius squared, half of pi times 4 squared. Pi times 4 squared, I'm just going to put into my calculator. And so I get 50.3. And half of 50.3 is 25.1 to 1 decimal place. And it's centimeters squared because it's an area. Okay, so what fraction of the whole circle have I got? I'm going to want that fraction of the area of the whole circle. Okay, so again, the second example, we've got the radius is 5 and the diameter is 10. I would always write that down, guys. You might not need the diameter in this case. We're not going to need the diameter, but it's better to have both of those pieces of information written there for when you're deciding what information you do need. This time we've got a quarter of the circle. We know that because that's a right angle, and 4 of those would make a whole circle. Our radius is 5, so it's going to be a quarter of pi times 5 squared. So I'm just going to work out pi times 5 squared on my calculator. And that's going to give me 78.5. But we want a quarter of that, which is 19.6 centimeters squared. Okay. Now the last one, okay, is the same process as what we've done previously, but our fractions are not going to look as simple. Okay, so remembering what we did last lesson, the whole of this circle would be 360 degrees. Okay, in a full turn there would be 360 degrees. We've got 45 of those degrees, so we've got 45 degrees out of 360 of the area of the whole circle as well. That's the fraction of the circle we've got, so that's going to be the fraction of the area that we've got. So 45 over 360 . Again, guys, I've forgotten here, but just radius is 6, diameter is 12. It's always good to get those written down, okay? It means that you're less likely to make errors. So I'm just going to use my calculator to work out pi times 6 squared. Excuse me. So that's going to be 113.1. Now, if I want to find out 45 360ths, I'm going to press my fraction button put 45 over 360, and then I'm going to times it by 113.1. Then just press the SD button to get my decimal answer of 14.1 centimetres squared. Now, for those of you without a scientific calculator, firstly, you're going to let pi equal 3.14. Okay? That's going to be the approximation you use, 3.14. If you need to work out a fraction of an amount that doesn't involve halving or dividing by 4, then this is how you're going to do it, okay? Say we want to work out 45 360ths of 113.1. We're going to work out 1 360th first, which is just 113.1 divided by 360. Which gives us 0.31. And then if we know what 1 360th is, we can just times it by 45 to get 45 360ths. And it gives us 14.1 again. So there are no excuses, guys, for not being able to do this, okay? You should have either a scientific calculator, hopefully, or you can use any calculator on Google or on your phone. You don't necessarily need the scientific calculator. It does help, though.